We've got your shot to win tickets to Summer of Loud 2025, Friday, July 11th at Somerset Amphitheater. See performances from Beartooth, I Prevail, Parkway Drive, and more. Head over to our contest page to see how you can win today. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Before we welcome Mark Rosen in the conversation, Tennessee, in defense of Diego, put together the liner congratulating Draymond Green. For the longest time, we thought it was Granlund.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was Granlund.
Right. So maybe no one's ever asked. Maybe it really is Draymond.
He might have it right.
Yeah, he might have it right. Has anybody ever said, do you pronounce it Draymond or Draymond? He might go, I just never thought it was a big deal, but my name is Draymond Green. And
I'm
going to
Rossi or Rossi?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to be broke when I retire because it's not meant for wealth, for collecting wealth. This fine system in the NBA. There he is, Mark Rosen.
I got to slightly correct something with you.
Oh.
And far be it from you to ever let context or actual statements get in the way of a good bit. And I'm all in favor of that, as we just heard with the imposter statement tournament.
What are you referring to?
You've been mocking and ridiculing my statement about Lou Nanny.
That wasn't me. That was everybody else.
Do people read the entire... It wasn't like breaking news. Lou Nanny is not doing the state high school hockey tournament for the first time in 60 years. There was an instead. If you read the entire sentence, which I know you probably didn't, instead... As I talked to him about on Sunday, he will be doing the color commentary for the Wild this week in Seattle and which he did last night in Vancouver. It was, in other words, and I asked him, "Do you think you're going to miss it?" He goes, "No, not in the least." He was ready to retire. So it wasn't like, oh, by the way, it was information that, by the way, you can still catch Louis doing hockey this week. How ironic. He's doing the Wild, not the state high school hockey tournament.
Larry Mandela, a number of people.
But why would they? I don't understand it.
Why would Larry Mandela guy do that?
Because they forget. It's like they just conveniently leave out the entire statement, the rest of the statement. It wasn't like, oh, geez, Lou Nanny's not doing the high school hockey tournament.
So you did know before you talked to him that he wasn't doing it?
Yeah, I think I was kind of aware of that.
Oh, okay.
And
people thought you weren't.
No,
right?
people, no. People didn't read the entire statement. It's like, if you like Lou doing hockey, you can still listen to him. Right. Watch him this week. Okay, I'm done.
Here's another one that just came in. Turns out Rosen's been busy reporting news while others have hesitated. Rosen is calling it Dewey has defeated Truman.
I don't understand what he's talking about.
Well, the nanny thing, everybody, it's Larry Mandela guy he's back at. He won't leave you alone.
Can he ever work on his comedy routine? I've been in the audience.
It needs some work.
I've been in the audience, and I've heard the yawning that goes on in there is enough to have people dislocate their jaws.
Well, at least he was never booed off stage like Meat Sauce
I know,
was
that's true.
A few shows
That's
ago.
true.
By the way, Orono leads Northfield.
It scored again.
The 6 leading the 3. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first period, a Class A quarterfinal game at the Hippodrome. Orono 2, Northfield nothing. Earlier today, defending state champ St. Cloud Cathedral got off to a good start. They eliminated the Montevideo Zephyrs. They pitched a shutout.
They did.
3-0 was the final game. That was played at Civic Center. This game is being played at Hippodrome. The Hippodrome.
I remember covering
I called games at Hippodrome, high school games. They used to do section games there years ago when I was a
I remember for years at the old St. Paul Auditorium. They had the state. Okay. Well, there was, before they had the classic, there was an independent state high school hockey tournament.
Huh?
The Hill Murrays and
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, I did not know that.
Yes.
I was not aware of that.
There was an independent state high school hockey tournament long before they had Class A and Double A. So there were just the 8 teams, obviously.
Right.
And then, I don't know, it was the Catholic schools, independent schools, whatever, they had their own tournament. And more times than not, I think it was at the St. Paul Auditorium, maybe a little bit at Aldrich Arena, too. Covered a lot of sectional games at Aldrich, but those were always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was an independent tournament.
You'll hear plenty of the action on fan-related platforms. KFAN Plus, Zach Halverson.
Yeah.
Game starting tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I think he told me is his first game. Mm-hmm. And is he doing every 2A game then tomorrow? So he's going to be
every game tomorrow.
Okay.
The semifinals for both on Friday and then the 2 ships on Saturday.
So he'll be very busy. So it sounds like he's got a number of games to do, and you can listen to that. He does a mighty fine job. Here's one that says, Larry Mondello guy might be the best part of this show, to be honest. Keep ripping. Keep the ripping coming.
Oh, we love Larry
Keep
Mondello
the
guy.
ripping coming.
Does it go Larry Mondello guy, Brody, and then Warren?
Yeah.
In that order?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right.
Let me ask you. That's a
Sorry.
That's all right.
Accidentally hit a button.
So the two men's winter sports teams are winners. The Wild beat the Kraken.
Speaking of
was it
Lunati.
4-1, I think? And then
No, it was
4-3.
4-3. Sorry, 4-3.
It was 4-1 at one point.
Yes, that's right. That's what you said. I wasn't really listening. I was just chewing on my leftover steak. My wife made steak and baked potatoes last night. That's what I had for leftovers
that's sweet.
today.
That's sweet.
And then the Wolves, it was dicey, or back and forth a little bit, but then they poured it on, and I think they just dominated the fourth quarter. And ended up
I just ran
blowing
into
out who did they? The
76ers minus
blew them
like
out.
7 of their players. There's a guy. I was just
Did you find your wallet?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I did
find it. It was at home. Yeah, I was
having fun with Mr. Barrera when he walked in because I was listening to him on the way home, as I always do, and he was talking about how the game was loser-proof
And
last
it
night.
was. He was
and
correct.
it was. But I said, did you get a little nervous? It was 80-80.
Yeah.
And the Wolves were playing a sloppy brand of basketball, turning the ball over way too many times. And Mike Conley, who, by the way, is not playing tonight for rest, hit a half-court three-pointer. And then the Wolves went on a tear with the three-point shots. I think they hit 5 or 6 in a row to open it up and take a 14-point lead. And they were really never threatened. But the game was, as they say, it was a lot closer than it looked based on the first 3 quarters. When you let a team like Philadelphia... they're pros. They have guys that just don't get a chance to play very much because they were missing so many of their starters. A lot of guys that don't get a chance to play got a chance to play. And, good for them. They played pretty well for 3 quarters and take advantage of their opportunity.
Well, you have loser-proof games, and then you have theories that aren't necessarily foolproof. And my theory is, when a superior team, a vastly superior team, or a team that is a team that's playing a team that's shorthanded as badly as Philadelphia was, 6 players did not suit up, and Embiid's out for the year. The other team, this being the Wolves, that they know they can turn it on and end it. So that's why that game, we see it happen all the time in the NBA.
Yeah, we do.
The better team playing the single-digit win team or the team that's in the teens, game's close early, then all of a sudden it comes, start of the third quarter, and then the team comes out of the locker room and says, they go in the locker room and say, well, let's start playing now. Let's put this team out of their misery. They turn it on, and that's what the Wolves did. So you could see, but that's not foolproof, because sometimes you do that and the other team doesn't back down, or you make a couple of mistakes in a game that you thought you could win at any time.
Well, it happened at Utah the other night.
And you wasted your time, and then you end up losing the game.
Even without Ant. And that's a game you can't lose, and they did. It came down the wire, but you put yourself in a position where you let Utah hang around, and they're an awful basketball team. The team they're playing tonight, Charlotte, on the back-to-back, is not very good. And the Wolves are, 8-9 point favorites tonight. But, they got to take advantage of that. The players are talked about it. It's such a log jam right now to try to get into that 6th spot and catch your Golden State Warriors or whomever. Right. It's you got to just keep piling up those W's, and then the Wolves have to take advantage of a schedule that's favorable for them. Very favorable, though they still do have a couple of games against some of the better teams. However, I think they have 2. Did they have? Who just Kyrie? No, we didn't have any left with Dallas, did we? No. We got Memphis. That's what I'm thinking. We have 2 at Memphis. Left with Dallas. So, but we do have, a handful of games. Yeah, Denver. We got a couple against Denver, I think. And so, it's not like every game, but it's very favorable for them. There's no question about it. And they control their own density, man. Yeah, it's and I don't know when Gobert is supposed to be back, but DiVincenzo looks like, he's really, I know he's on a minute restriction still, but my God, you like him, don't you? I love him. I love his ability to just come out, and he plays really hard. He's a hustler. We were talking about that yesterday, with Bobby Jackson here in town and assistant coach for the 76ers about hustle plays and guys making, as if the playoffs had begun. He made one of those last night where he's, like you're watching, the NCAA basketball tournament. He's sprawling on the court trying to keep the ball from going out of bounds. Flips it to, it was Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and it ends up going in for an easy layup. But it was all because of the hustle move that he made to keep the ball in play. And that's the kind of effort you get from him. And it's like, oh, this is still a regular season game. But it's nice to see, and it's appreciated by his teammates and appreciated by the fans in particular.
Common, could you please give us a schedule for when Louis is doing games at the state high school hockey tournament this year? I'm just asking for a friend.
Okay, Louis.
They never stop.
No, that's
they
funny.
never stop.
No, I don't blame them. I blame you.
It's not me.
Well, you don't have to feed the monster. Your smugness over there. Look at you. Hey, by the way, I love the picture of you with the snowblower this morning.
Oh, did you like that?
I thought that was... Who took it?
That's 10-second delay.
Oh, I was wondering. I don't think
so
you had...
set it up, and you put the snowblower. No, you put the snowblower in the right position, and then you hit. Hit start, and you got impressive. 10 seconds to position yourself behind the snowblower. Yes, that's what I did.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
So next time you take a picture of Lou Nanny, you don't need to have someone else take the picture for you. You can just set it up for yourself with a 10-second timer.
And then break the news that he's not doing
the state high school hockey tournament.
Yeah, for the first time.
People are missing Louis. Come on. Not yet, because he wouldn't be doing the games today.
Well, we'll take a break and come back. It's Common Tenneby and Mark Rosen here on The Fan.
Tom's Watch Bar in Minneapolis this Friday and join the Power Trips Meat Sauce for a KFAN Wolves watch party.
Meat sauce.
We'll have Timberwolves versus Heat live on the big screens, delicious food and drinks, and your chance to secure exclusive KFAN swag and a chance to qualify for Wolves tickets later this season. Get all the details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Class A quarterfinal action earlier today at the Civic Center. It was defending Class A state champ St. Cloud Cathedral shutting out Matamidi 3-0, and then Hippodrome right now. They're between the first and second periods, about to start period number 2. The 6-seeded, who's the 6th seed? Who's winning? Oh, Orono.
Mark Parrish's old team.
Yeah, they have a 2-0 lead right now over the 3rd-seeded Northfield club. Before we get into a little football talk that Mark Rosen stumbled across something. This text message says, once again this year, MnDOT held their name a snowplow contest.
Right.
The big winner was Notorious B.I.G. However, given our severe lack of snow before today, the plow barely had to do any work at all. So they're considering renaming it Mark Snowsen. Okay there, Mandela guy. He used that one on Flop, Sweat, and Tears, and it brought the house down.
Well, I'm glad to be...
the butt end of jokes.
Well, I'm glad that I'm still involved in his life.
Yeah.
That it's important and that the fans and his audience reacts that way.
Yeah. If you didn't exist, he wouldn't have an act.
No, exactly.
That's the thing.
Well, he better hope I live for a long time.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any other material.
Well, you look
like I'm 45.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, I didn't feel like it today. I don't know.
You look great.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm not having a having a good day today.
So now you have some speculation.
Well, I think we love speculation, and I don't know if you've. I asked you during the break if you've seen this. It's one of a zillion things that are happening. Free agency literally 1 week from today.
Correct.
The bell rings.
You get like 2 or 3 days to negotiate, and then you can.
It gets a little fuzzy about
legal tampering.
Yeah,
yeah. I was telling Abbott earlier there was a thing next Monday. I'm going, if you don't have a representative from the NFLPA, for instance, you as a player are allowed to talk to Kevin O'Connell or whoever. Well, my question I have is how many free agents don't have certified agents?
I would say close to zero.
I would, unless you are a late round draft pick or a free agent already, and you didn't want to spend money on an agent's commission to sign your contract. How many guys don't have agents?
I think Lamar Jackson. Remember, he took a lot of heat for not having one.
That's right. I knew there was a name, and that is the one guy that apparently he negotiates his own deal.
Very good memory.
But he's done pretty well at it. He's been paid a lot of money.
Well.
I don't know if he left any on the table.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, this is the headline is 2025 NFL free agency projecting offers deals on 6 stars. Well, the first star, using air quotes again, is our guy Sam Darnold, and they have him as a 4th top.
Who's the source on this story? What is this?
This is ESPN.
ESPN story. Okay.
I don't know who the writer is, but they have him as a 4th ranked free agent available. And they have the 2 teams they have with the best offers and the most likely to land are the Raiders, 3 years, $125 million, $55 million guaranteed. Quote, the AFC's loaded and a quarterback in Darnold could make an immediate impact, which the Raiders desperately need. They were 30th in quarterback rating last season. Okay, so they have that. And then the second one, I thought a little surprising. I think Kenneth probably doesn't. The Titans, 3 years, $120 million, $85 million guaranteed. It gets Darnold to the coveted $40 million yearly average offers on an opportunity for him to be the starter for the next 3 years. He would also get to re-enter the free agent market at 30 years old, kind of doing the Kirk Cousins bit, another crack at a big contract. So they go, the decision, Darnold agrees on a new deal with the, as you like to do, ...
Yeah.
The Titans. The higher guarantee swings it. Here, Darnold would have a little bit of concern because the Titans might also take a guy in the draft, leaving him to potentially get Kirk Cousins. But the Raiders bring that same concern. This is more money. Darnold will still get the hit free agency at 29 or so. So that's what they have for Sam Darnold. Now you go down the list, Josh Sweat, a couple other guys. They got him going to, I think the Panthers of all play. No, excuse me, the Commanders. Everybody wants to go to Washington.
Why wouldn't you right now?
Now the next one, Milton Williams, the defensive tackle from the Philadelphia Eagles.
I like Milton a lot.
They got him 6th in the free agency. They have the offers, basically 3 teams. The Broncos, 3 years, $73 million.
Kennedy, hit the horn.
Oh, we got one.
Just under a minute into the second period, Northfield scores. They cut the Orono lead to 1. Orono, they lead Northfield 2-1. Just underway,
nice.
Period number 2, Class A quarterfinal at Hippodrome. So,
okay, so the Broncos would be number 1. Number 2, the New England Patriots. Again, this is for Milton Williams, the defensive tackle.
I like Milt a lot.
Who had 2 sacks and a forced fumble in the Super Bowl. The Patriots have made it clear they want to build lines on both sides of the ball. Sounds familiar. And the third one, yes, our Minnesota Vikings. 4 years, $96 million, $75 million guaranteed. The Vikings tried to sign free agent Christian Wilkins last season to give them some juice on the interior of that defensive line, and they'll take another swing here. Over the past 2, this is Kevin Seifert writing. Over the past 2 seasons, they have 91 sacks, but only 9 have come from defensive tackles. So, the decision.
We need interior help. We don't have a lot of pass rush from up center.
Williams agrees on a new deal with the ... the Vikings.
You think? So that's what ESPN is speculating.
This is speculating. Yeah, it was between Minnesota and Denver in the 4th year in the deal and the stronger guaranteed push.
And they feel he might be the best inside interior pass rushing defensive lineman in the league.
I like the way Milt is built.
Yeah. Well, Milt, I like that's exactly right.
And the
other thing is, Tenneby, even when he plays a lot, Milt doesn't wilt.
No, he does not.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't get tired.
The Vikings are already a contender. This gives Williams the best chance to get back to the Super Bowl.
And if you look at his measurements, Wilt is like a stilt. He's tall, too.
Man.
And if you sign him, there's no guilt signing Milt.
He's not the kind of guy who wears a kilt.
No, absolutely not. No. And there's no use crying over spilt milk.
Oh, boy.
And if we get him, we'll be playing in the big tilt.
Yes.
My head hurts.
Now I want to get him.
Now you got to get him.
This is so much fun. This is already so much fun.
So there you have it. Projection by, and I think Kevin Seifert weighed in on it as well. So Milton Williams is, and that's, that would be
like 5 sacks last season.
Yeah, great acquisition for the Vikings. I mean, among other things that they're looking for. So negotiations will be ensuing quickly.
Yeah.
As they say, next week.
Oh, he had 2 sacks in the big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that. And a fumble recovery. Yeah. Forced fumble. Forced fumble. Yeah. He's a big boy. Last year he had 5 sacks, 18 pressures. So
if we make any, if we try to persuade him to come here, we don't get jilt by Milt.
Oh.
Is that right? Or is it jilted? Can you even use jilt?
You can try.
Let's go with it.
For a name that's obviously an ordinary last name, you've done quite well.
Thanks.
I don't know many Miltons.
Well, here's the other one, too.
Arno scored.
So now it's 3-1. And if the Vikings spend that kind of money, they're going to the hilt to sign Milt.
Oh, boy.
Just so much fun.
Yeah.
That's why this show is so popular, because this is the kind of thing you can't find that kind of.
Do you think breakdown?
Do you think that Pat McAfee is going to have that kind of comedy?
No, never.
How about
never,
Colin Cowherd?
Zero.
How about who's the guy? It's like that Jungle Jim Rome. You think Jim Rome is going to do that?
I saw that. Speaking of ESPN, along with a lot of other major outlets, they're turning away from the traditional. They're around the horn show, which I catch off and on. It's done.
Over.
End of
23
May.
years. End of an era.
Yeah, and that's those are where the sage sort of for the most part, guys have been around the block for a while, still have an opportunity to weigh in on the sports topics of the day. And I don't necessarily think it's a great sign. Obviously
they're pushing out the old guys because the young kids. Yeah, well, because the young kids like they like the guys from like the Barstool Sports kind of stuff and the Power Trip Morning Show. They like guys that really don't know much, but just pretend they know a lot and they just spew things out.
Well, they go to a lot more, and they've had added obviously a lot of
baseball hats, and
a lot of gambling things that they do as well. I mean, one of my favorite shows.
They're playing to the audience.
They are. I mean, they used to have the sports reporters on Sunday morning, which I really enjoyed. They had some really good, long in the tooth kind of the Mitch Albums of the world that would be on weighing in on the sports topics of the day. But that show is long gone too. So here you go.
Let's pause, come back. One more segment to go. Got a couple of others. Let's talk some baseball with Mark Rosen when we come back. It's the Common Man program with Common Teneby and Mark Rosen right here on the Fan.
Wild Wednesday is sponsored by Jim Beam, the official bourbon of the Minnesota Wild. They're here all season long. Listen every Wednesday through March for your chance to win tickets.
Couple 13-14 pass, Common Man program. I'm Common. He's Teneby. He's Mark Rosen. Wolves could be done.
What happened?
Chris Hine just tweeted this. The Timberwolves did make it to Charlotte despite the storm back in Minneapolis. They made it to their hotel around 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, boy.
Tonight marks their 5th game in 7 days in their 4th different time zone. They have no chance.
They got to go to Miami after this, too. They fly to Miami. They don't play tomorrow night. They play Friday night. But
they don't get to the hotel till 4:30. Got to unwind a little bit. Probably didn't get to bed till 6:30, 7 o'clock. Got to get up for shoot-around.
I probably have a shoot-around.
And then 5th game in 7 days. Should they just forfeit and go straight to Miami? Because you don't want this to start, a snowball effect.
No.
Pardon the pun with the snow.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I mean, I don't expect them to win by 20 or 15 tonight, but Charlotte's not good. But I think that there's enough hunger with especially some of the younger guys, and with Conley out tonight, Dillingham will probably play a bit more, and so will Shannon. So I don't know. I think I like the lineup they had late on the young guys like Nikhil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels playing really well. Obviously, Ant's Ant, and DiVincenzo is got a little extra spring in his step. So I think they'll be fine.
You think they'll be fine?
Yeah, I don't think they're
going to be trouble tonight.
Yeah, well,
they got the built-in excuse though.
Yeah, they do. They have the time zone and the travel, but so do the 76ers. Not as bad as that, but I think they'll be fine.
Common, my apologies for tuning in late. I will try to never let it happen again. Please announce again who won the PST. Thanks. Signed Illinois guy, Illini guy. It was Draymond Green, or Draymond. Draymond Green won 57. What was it? 57 to
57.5 to 42.5.
Yeah, and congratulations to Draymond Green. I saw this story. It's really not anything new. It's just they finally have the numbers crunched. And this is from an Associated Press story. The New York Mets have spent more in Steve Cohen's 4 years than the Marlins, Pirates, and Rays over the past 21 years.
Wow.
Think about that. More in 4 than those teams in 21. The Mets led the major leagues in spending for the 3rd straight season last year and have totaled $1.36 billion in payroll and luxury tax over 4 years under Steve Cohen, exceeding what the Marlins, Pirates, and Rays each have spent on players in the past 21 seasons. The Mets established a $333.3 million regular payroll record. I like it, all threes. According to figures finalized by MLB this week and obtained by the AP. That topped the previous mark of $319.5 million set by ... the Mets
right.
in 2023 when they became the first team to exceed $300 million. New York totaled $430.4 million last year in payroll and luxury tax. Luxury tax was $97.1 million they had to pay on top. To set a cost record, the Mets paid $420 million the year before, including $100.8 million tax, and it's gotten no World Championships, correct?
No.
Well, it's gotten postseason play.
They've gotten the postseason, but they're going to forever be the little brother to the Yankees in New York. You know, they play at Flushing Meadows or out in that area. Obviously, the Yankees are in the Bronx, but they're always like it's the Yankees, and by the way, the Mets are still here too, and they're always going to be the lovable loser Mets. I think, even no matter how much money they spend, they have some big names, they have some really good players, but they're play second fiddle to the Yankees. It's just the way it is in New York.
People will look at this story and the Pohlad pocket protectors, and they will say, see, even when you spend that kind of money, you don't win a world championship. I can guarantee you, though, Cohen doesn't, I'm sure he's disappointed that they haven't won anything, but
it's not stopping.
But it's not stopping him because he's got plenty more where that came from. This is his hobby. He wants to win. He feels the best way to winning is through a large payroll. And he's close to being right because they're in postseason play every year. And maybe one of these years, my guess is one of these years, they'll get over the top, maybe not. And more importantly, if you're a fan, do you care about his money?
No.
I don't. I would be loving him. Yeah. If I'm a Mets fan, I'm going, I love it, man. Well, this guy's, he's trying anyways. We might be signing the wrong guys, or guys are underachieving, or we're getting injuries, or we're just, root for the home team. Ain't it a shame we didn't win?
Right.
But it's not for lack of effort from the ownership. That's the beauty of it. That's what I think.
There really are, and it continues to be the haves and the have-nots in baseball salary and baseball. This is not any equity, and we know the scope of the small market teams and what they're up against. And there every so often, there are a team that'll rise up. Tampa Bay's done it. Cleveland's done it. Obviously, the Twins did it many, many, many years ago. But it's rare. I mean, what you're seeing with the Dodgers, and we finally, we had the Dodger-Yankee World Series, but the Dodgers, if anything, they put the pedal down even more. Speaking of the Mets, they just said, okay, well, we're going to continue to push the envelope. We don't want one. We want to win 2, 3, whatever world championships. And now, L.A. is back to being, the center of the universe, making the trade to get Luka, the pairing with LeBron. It's going to be Laker mania starting in the end of April. And the Dodgers will be starting up. The Angels, are in Orange County, but, again, they're playing. And they've spent plenty of money on that team, but they're way in the backdrop of the sports lexicon and the mindsets of the fan bases in California. The Giants have won some world championships, obviously, and they got the great ballpark right downtown. But it's compared to what's going elsewhere. That's why the Twins are. They're still the favorite, I guess, to win their division this year. Mm-hmm. Why? They didn't do really anything to improve their team this offseason. And I guess a rhetorical question.
Orno scores again. So
turning into a blowout.
4-1 over Northfield. 5.5 to go second period. So
we were watching. Northfield had
couple of opportunities.
Really good chances to make it.
Orno, a goaltender, was standing on his head, so some nice saves.
There you go.
Well, I can tell you why. I'm not going to pretend I've watched what Chicago, Detroit, and
Cleveland
have done, but those three teams were all playoff teams last year. The Twins, until their collapse, they had the best record. Well, they had the best record in the division. They looked like the odds-on favorite.
Right.
I can understand. Look, their first three pitchers are all pretty good. Lopez is quality. Joe Ryan's a quality pitcher, and Ober showed he might belong in the big leagues. If Paddock stays healthy, he's shown he's a big league pitcher. I'm not sure who will get the fifth spot.
Right.
They have two really good bullpen guys, one healthy and pitching well, and that would be the closer, Durand, and then Thielbar, right? Those guys can pitch. And their everyday lineup, if the three main guys, Larry, Moe, Curly Joe, Correa, Lewis, and Buxton, stay healthy and perform like they are capable of, that's a good middle of the lineup. It's very formidable. They have other players that are, again, the Wallner kid, Wallner's he's not an all-star, but they have other players that are pretty talented. So I can see why in this division, because there's not a dominant team, why the Twins could be a favorite.
And Bader's going to replace Kepler in right field. And today they had
France. I don't know about him playing first, but
he got 2 more hits this afternoon. So he's
Julian. If you remember, and I'd warned people about this. That what happens is, oftentimes a kid will have a really good season, and people will expect, well, now he's going to take the next step. In Julian's case, he took a step back. I think he struck out. Did I read this right? He struck out about once every 3 times he went to the plate. That's not good.
Really
he feels very good about himself, and they all do, but I saw that they did a piece on him in Fish Wrap West the other day where, he said he knows if he hits like he's capable, he has nothing to worry about, so he's coming out with a different attitude. He looked at his swing. He's changing things up a little bit. We'll see if it helps, but I can see why.
Well, this offense will go as far as
Jackson, not Thielbar. I meant Jax. Thielbar's gone, right?
Oh, yeah, Griffin Jax.
Griffin Jax.
Yeah, and they have Alcala still, too. But this offense will go as far as Correa, Buxton, and Royce Lewis take them. I mean, that's just, they're all 3 played this afternoon, and those are the 3 guys that have to stay on the field, and to get the productivity will come with it. Royce, I think, will bounce back, and if he's healthy enough, he'll be that kind of a player, and likely play third base. Correa's your shortstop. Buxton's obviously wants to play center. He's out there again today. So those are the 3 guys that have to, those are your money makers. Those are as the late great Jerry Burns used to say, those are our big knockers.
I think I'm picking the Twins to get to the World Series.
Already?
Well, again, we'll play it out a little bit. We'll see.
Bet.
Above average at that.
You bet against the hometown team?
Get to the World Series?
I like parades.
I know you do.
And Tennessee sent me the video today. Was that from spring training this year?
I believe so.
What's that?
Baldelli said he likes parades. He said it to all the guys in the locker room. He said, I've never had a parade. He said
great.
The people,
your line.
The people in this market, he said, will embrace you forever.
Yeah, well, they will.
He said, I've never had a parade. I want a parade. I want a bleeping parade.
Yeah. He apparently likes parades.
Well, the Aquatennial Parade's in the middle of July, right downtown Minneapolis. I get a bird's eye view of it. It's fantastic. I know the Twins will be playing getting one in October again.
Dave Scretta writes football for Associated Press. This was about 9:45 this morning. Kansas City, Missouri is the dateline. The Chiefs are trading 2-time All-Pro guard Joe Thuney to the Chicago Bears for a 4th-round pick in the 2026 draft. That's what a person familiar with the deal told the AP. The 32-year-old Thuney would have carried a salary cap number of nearly $27 million next season unless the Chiefs could have worked out a contract extension. That extension is now expected to come from the Bears, who have been working to retool their offensive line to better protect young quarterback Caleb Williams next season. So Ben Johnson already back at it, knowing the reason we had so much success in Detroit was a good offensive line. I don't know any more about Thuney than he is 32.
Nice.
It's a little long in the tooth. He's a 2-time All-Pro, so he's probably still got some talent. He comes with a big ticket, but they're not afraid of that. So Chicago making some moves, and they were 4-2 until Hail Mary game, where the one defender
fell apart
was
after
taunting all the fans.
Still one of the great moments in football history.
Three really good teams last year. Detroit 15-2, Vikings 14-3, and the Packers 11-6, I believe they were. And, I expect the Bears to be a little bit better. I mean, if they can protect Williams, and he has had a year under his belt, he should be good. Should be a great division. But so there's their first free agent move where they've decided.
First trade,
First trade where where they're starting to.
Well, they got some draft capital the Vikings just don't have. I mean, that's the thing. If the Vikings were interested in making a move like that, they got 4 draft picks. I mean, they can't afford to. That's a little hefty price too. So I mean, sure they have their eye on an offensive lineman or 2 or 3, and that they're going to hope that falls in their lap, and they're going to be aggressively going after. I mean, I don't think it's going to take long. When the bell rings a week from today to see signings almost immediately. because those negotiations will begin before that. You can negotiate a couple days later. Another one? Oh, my.
Orno's all over him right now.
Yeah, I see that.
They also had one that was just allowed a little bit ago.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
I missed that one.
It's turning into a rout. It is a rout.
It is a rout. It's 5-1, 2:04 to go. I mean, you never say it's over until it's over, but it looks like this
Oh,
one
left all alone in front.
might be over. Someone sent me I wanted to get to this text message, but it might be a couple of seconds before I find it. I apologize for this. I wish I would. I should have done the highlight, but I forgot I even had it. I'll just paraphrase. It was earlier today on the air with PA was Mike Florio.
Okay.
And Mike Florio said one thing the Vikings could do is they could trade J.J. McCarthy for draft picks. He brought that up. Oh, my God. But the reason I bring it up is because everybody laughs at me and mocks me and thinks it's the stupidest thing they've ever heard of, because I still believe it's because you don't dare think out of the box, and you think, well, I don't want to say that because they're not going to do it. And I never said they were going to. I'm just saying it is an option for them.
Of course it's an option.
And they could get probably a couple of first-round draft picks in a second, so they would. And then if the quarterback whispers as good as they say he is, why couldn't he take Danny Dimes to the same level he took Darnold, or maybe the Fields character? There are other people to do it. But so it's not that crazy of an idea. I'm a big Florio guy, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Just as of right now.
Well, it's that doesn't hurt, that's for sure. But it's something. But you're right, though. The Vikings don't have a lot of draft picks to deal with right now, and so they're going to probably have to do most of their fortifying the
lines in particular.
Yeah, the lines in particular have to do through free agency. Yeah. But the reason I bring up the Thune is that there's a guy who was a trade, but there's a guy who he'd have fit really nice in Vikings uniform.
Of course he would.
So
32 is not necessarily old for an offensive lineman, depending if he's been pretty injury free. Kansas City's kind of reshuffling the deck as well right now.
I actually do feel like 32 is old for offensive linemen.
Yeah, it gets
How often are they getting past 32?
Well, there's some of them, the tackles I'm thinking about in particular.
Trent Williams has been there an awful long time.
A few other ones.
Someone tells me, did the Bears also trade for Jonah Jackson?
They did the day before, yes.
Yeah, the day before, yeah. So
they've got two offensive linemen.
Two big boys.
Could the Vikings be the fourth in the North this year?
Well, I think it's a little premature.
Well,
of course they could be.
The Bears are already they're not wasting any time fortifying their line.
Well, and their coach.
And their coach.
Can we wait till after free agency?
I'm panicking.
Are you? No, you're not. It's the Bears. Just, my friend Kevin Warren.
Yeah.
I'm always root for Kevin Warren.
How many big games have the Bears won?
One.
How many have the Vikings won? So you can say they're the Bears, but...
Well, I understand what you're saying, but it's been a long...
It has been, but...
They also were in another one.
And they were in another one, yeah.
They lost to Tony Dungy.
And they had a chance to get when Cutler faced Green Bay.
Yeah, that's right.
I wanted to win that game.
Jay Cutler. Oh, Lord.
There was a time I thought Cutler was the best quarterback in football.
I remember. You talked about him.
Northfield gets on the board desperately.
On the power play.
On the power play. 5-2. Just under a minute to go. Second period. Class A quarterfinal, second one of the day, earlier today.
4-goal lead's the most dangerous lead in hockey.
It is. It's
now the momentum's all on Northfield's side.
Earlier today, the defending state champion St. Cloud Cathedral Club defeated the Zephyrs of Montemito at 3-0 was the score. I haven't seen Meat Sauce's TV commercial yet, have you?
For what?
He's riding a Zamboni for 7th Avenue Pizza. It's supposed to be on the high school hockey tournament. I've been looking for it. I still haven't seen it yet.
Does he crash into the boards?
I don't know if he does, though. I asked if Teneby could drive.
Fun.
I asked if Teneby thought anybody on the air staff could drive a Zamboni.
Yeah.
And Teneby said he'd never driven one. He'd like to. A former Zamboni driver said it's more difficult than you think because you got to let the water out at the right time. You have to raise the blade up for shaving the ice.
My assumption is
it's a trick.
They let him go between the blue lines and just go in a straight line for the commercial. I don't think they had him doing the whole ice sheet.
Maybe he did.
I really doubt it.
Meat Sauce a bright guy. He's a quick learner.
So supposed to be entering the tournament?
This is the second time he's done a TV commercial. Did you know that? Yeah, the first time was he's in the Jack Links commercials.
God.
And, here's the beauty of the reason they liked him in the Jack Links commercials was because there were no speaking parts, and he didn't have to have a costume either.
I was waiting. I'm jumping on your touchdown call.
Yeah. And also with that, too, he was such a natural at it. The other actors that auditioned for it, they had to dumb it down to be the Jack Links guy, but Meat Sauce didn't need to do that. It was just it was an extension of his persona, much like his comedy routine.
Well, I was going to say I never got a report on your last appearance.
It went well.
It did.
It went well.
Right.
Sauce didn't get booed off the stage. He left early. He just walked out and left. But we told him he had to take care of Louis, so we let him go.
Sure.
And we had a nice job. Tommy Olsen had agreed.
Oh, you told me yesterday.
But he's out now, and so I'm still wondering if you want to.
I told you I got a movie night with my friends dinner on the 21st.
Well, we'll show a movie at
Cinema Grill.
Well, we're not at
Cinema Grill.
But we can show it at Bogart's.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So anyway, today's only Wednesday because you're back tomorrow.
I am.
Okay.
You want me back?
Well, of course we do.
Yeah. Of course.
Why did I care for you back tomorrow?
Boy.
There was some reason I thought. I wanted to ask you about I forget now. Man, my mind is just.
That's all right. I started watching this really good documentary on the history of the Boston Celtics. Oh my God! I
John Havlicek.
Oh, even before Havlicek. I mean, going back to the early years with Red Auerbach coaching, and even when the Lakers were in Minneapolis, but they also talked about just the world we lived in then when Bill Russell went down. I think the Celtics were playing a game down south somewhere, and they weren't even allowed. The black players weren't allowed to eat in the restaurant there. I mean, you go, what in the hell? And Boston being a pretty racist city, and at least a reputation for many, many, many decades.
Tell me, I forgot to give away the Wild tickets.
Great series. Oh, you did? Oh, boy.
Should we save them tomorrow, or should we do them right now? I mean, you have to.
I'll save it tomorrow.
All right, let's do it tomorrow. We'll give away.
Just logged out of the computer.
We'll make it a wild, thrilling Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll give away tickets.
They're going to be home for a long time after this week.
The Wild Wednesday is presented by Jim Beam, the official bourbon of the Minnesota Wild. We'll give those tickets away tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Timmy, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. Big Ticket and Brett Blakemore are next, right? Sure on the Fan.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota.
Good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
We're the state of hockey, and I think that proves it, so.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.